The story of bombs is a tale as old as civilization itself. From the dawn of time, humans have been fascinated by the dual nature of fire, a force that can both create and destroy. This fascination led to the development of early incendiary devices, which played a crucial role in shaping the course of history. It begins with humanity's discovery of fire, a force of nature capable of both creation and annihilation. Fire provided warmth, protection, and a means to cook food, but it also held the potential for great destruction. This duality was not lost on our ancestors. Our ancestors, harnessing this power, fashioned early incendiary weapons. These devices were rudimentary but effective, demonstrating an early understanding of fire's destructive capabilities. They were used not just for survival, but also as tools of war. These crude but effective devices, often consisting of clay pots filled with flammable materials, were used in sieges and naval battles. The attackers would hurl these pots over the walls of besieged cities or onto enemy ships, causing chaos and destruction. Imagine a besieged city, its wooden gates ablaze from burning pitch hurled by attackers. The defenders would scramble to extinguish the flames, knowing that their survival depended on it. These early incendiary devices were a game-changer in ancient warfare. These early bombs, primitive by today's standards, offered a glimpse of the destructive potential that lay dormant, waiting to be unleashed. They were the precursors to the more sophisticated explosives that would come later, setting the stage for future innovations. One of the earliest recorded uses of incendiary devices dates back to ancient China. The Chinese were pioneers in the development of early explosives, and their contributions to the field cannot be overstated. Around the 10th century they invented gunpowder, a mixture of sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. This discovery was revolutionary, providing a new means to harness the power of fire in a controlled and devastating way. This discovery would forever alter the course of warfare and lay the foundation for the development of true explosives. Gunpowder allowed for the creation of weapons that could cause unprecedented destruction, changing the dynamics of battle. The Chinese, initially using gunpowder for fireworks and signaling, soon recognized its military applications. They began to experiment with different ways to weaponize gunpowder, leading to the development of new and more powerful weapons. They developed early rockets and cannons, marking the beginning of a new era in warfare, one dominated by gunpowder and the explosive power it unleashed. These innovations gave the Chinese a significant advantage on the battlefield. These early incendiary weapons, while rudimentary, were a testament to human ingenuity, even in its darkest forms. They demonstrated a willingness to explore and exploit the destructive potential of fire, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The ability to harness fire and direct its destructive force had a profound impact on the battlefield. It allowed for new tactics and strategies, forcing armies to adapt and evolve in response to these new threats. It allowed for new offensive and defensive strategies, forever changing the face of warfare. Armies had to develop new ways to protect themselves from incendiary attacks, leading to innovations in fortifications and defensive measures. But the discovery of gunpowder and its subsequent weaponization was just the beginning. It set off a chain reaction of innovations, each building on the last, leading to increasingly powerful and devastating explosives. It was a spark that ignited a chain of innovations, leading to increasingly powerful and devastating explosives. These advancements would continue to shape the course of history, influencing the outcome of countless battles and wars. The arrival of gunpowder in Europe in the 13th century marked a turning point in the history of warfare. This new substance, originally invented in China, found its way to Europe through the Silk Road, forever altering the landscape of military conflict. European nations, quick to grasp the potential of this groundbreaking technology, began incorporating gunpowder weapons into their arsenals. The initial fascination with gunpowder soon turned into a race to develop more effective and deadly weapons. Cannons, capable of launching heavy projectiles over great distances, became a common sight on battlefields. These formidable weapons could breach fortifications that had stood for centuries, rendering traditional defensive structures obsolete. These early cannons, while inaccurate by modern standards, were powerful enough to shatter castle walls and decimate enemy formations. The psychological impact of these weapons was immense, often causing fear and panic among troops unaccustomed to such destructive power. The era of traditional siege warfare, dominated by catapults and battering rams, was coming to an end. The introduction of gunpowder weapons necessitated new strategies and tactics, fundamentally changing the nature of warfare. The development of handheld firearms, such as the arquebus and later the musket, further revolutionized warfare. These weapons allowed individual soldiers to wield significant firepower, making infantry units more versatile and deadly. Soldiers equipped with these guns could engage enemies from a distance, reducing the importance of hand-to-hand combat. This shift in combat dynamics led to the decline of heavily armored knights and the rise of more mobile and flexible infantry units. The battlefield became a more deadly place, with casualties soaring as a result of gunpowder weapons. The increased lethality of these weapons meant that battles were often shorter but far more brutal. Armies adapted their tactics, shifting from close formations to more dispersed lines to minimize the impact of cannons and gunfire. This evolution in military strategy was a direct response to the devastating effectiveness of gunpowder weapons. The age of chivalry, with its romanticized notions of knightly combat, was fading into the past, replaced by a grimmer reality dominated by gunpowder and explosives. The battlefield was no longer a place for individual heroics, but a domain of mass destruction and strategic maneuvering. As gunpowder technology advanced, so too did the destructive power of bombs. Innovations in metallurgy and chemistry allowed for the creation of more powerful and reliable explosive devices. Early bombs, often made of cast iron and filled with gunpowder, were used in sieges and naval battles. These devices could cause significant damage to both structures and ships, altering the course of engagements. These bombs, ignited by slow-burning fuses, were unpredictable and dangerous to handle. Despite their risks, they were a valuable addition to the arsenals of armies and navies. Yet, their power was undeniable. The ability to deliver a concentrated explosive force made bombs a game-changer in both offensive and defensive operations. A single, well-placed bomb could cripple an enemy ship or breach a fortress wall, paving the way for an assault. The strategic use of bombs could turn the tide of a battle, making them a crucial element in military planning. The development of grenades, smaller hand-thrown bombs, added a new dimension to close-quarters combat. These portable explosives allowed soldiers to clear enemy positions and fortifications with relative ease. Soldiers could now attack enemies hiding in trenches or behind cover with explosive force. This capability was particularly valuable in the static and entrenched battlefields of later conflicts such as World War I. The evolution of bombs and gunpowder weapons did not occur in a vacuum. It was driven by a complex interplay of factors, including political ambition, economic competition, and technological innovation. Each advancement in explosive technology was met with countermeasures and further innovations, creating a continuous cycle of development. It was driven by a complex interplay of factors, including political ambition, economic competition, and technological innovation. The desire for dominance on the battlefield spurred nations to invest heavily in research and development. Nations sought to outdo their rivals, constantly striving for a military edge. This relentless pursuit of superiority led to rapid advancements in explosive technology, with each new development pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Inventors and engineers, driven by a mix of patriotism and profit, worked tirelessly to improve the effectiveness of explosives. Their innovations not only changed the face of warfare, but also had far-reaching impacts on society and industry. This relentless pursuit of military superiority would have profound consequences for the future of warfare. The advancements in gunpowder and explosives set the stage for the modern era of conflict, where technology and firepower play a decisive role in determining the outcome of battles. The 19th century witnessed a rapid acceleration in technological innovation driven by the Industrial Revolution. This era was marked by groundbreaking advancements in various fields, from transportation to communication, and the field of explosives was no exception. Chemists and engineers made significant strides in understanding the properties of explosives, dedicating countless hours to research and experimentation. Their efforts led to the development of more powerful and stable compounds, which would have far-reaching implications for both industry and warfare. One of the most notable discoveries of this period was nitroglycerin, a highly volatile but potent explosive, discovered in 1846 by the Italian chemist Ascanio Sobrero. Despite its instability, nitroglycerin's explosive power was unmatched, making it a subject of great interest and further study. While nitroglycerin's instability made it impractical for use in its pure form, it paved the way for the creation of dynamite. Alfred Nobel, a Swedish chemist and engineer, sought to harness the power of nitroglycerin while mitigating its dangers. In 1867, Nobel's efforts culminated in the invention of dynamite, a revolutionary compound that would change the world. Dynamite was not only more stable but also easier to handle and transport, making it a practical tool for various applications. The invention of dynamite by Alfred Nobel marked a turning point in the history of explosives. Nobel's innovation combined nitroglycerin with diatomaceous earth, creating a mixture that was much safer to handle and transport than its volatile predecessor. This mixture, known as dynamite, quickly found widespread use in mining, construction, and unfortunately warfare. Its ability to blast through rock and earth made it an invaluable tool for engineers and miners, revolutionizing these industries. Dynamite's applications were vast and varied. In mining, it allowed for the efficient extraction of minerals and resources, while in construction, it enabled the creation of tunnels, roads, and other infrastructure projects that were previously unimaginable. Engineers and construction workers relied on dynamite to blast through rock and earth, making it an essential tool for large-scale projects. However, its destructive power also made it a weapon of choice for armies around the world. The military quickly recognized the potential of dynamite as a weapon. Its ability to cause massive destruction made it a formidable tool in warfare, leading to its widespread use in conflicts around the globe. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of aerial warfare, a new and terrifying dimension of conflict. Balloons and later airplanes provided a new platform for delivering bombs, extending the reach of warfare beyond the traditional battlefield. Early experiments with aerial bombing involved dropping explosives from balloons, but it wasn't long before airplanes were adapted for this purpose. These early bombers could carry and deliver bombs with greater precision and efficiency. The expansion of aerial warfare had a profound impact on the nature of conflict. No longer confined to the front lines, warfare could now reach deep into enemy territory, targeting infrastructure, supply lines, and even civilian populations. The use of bombs in World War I marked a grim turning point in human history. For the first time, civilians, once considered off-limits in warfare, became targets. The horrors of aerial bombing were felt by many, as cities and towns were reduced to rubble. The targeting of civilians during World War I set a dangerous precedent, highlighting the devastating impact of this new form of warfare. The psychological and physical toll on civilian populations was immense, forever changing the nature of conflict. Cities and towns were reduced to rubble by aerial bombardment, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The aftermath of these bombings was a stark reminder of the destructive power of modern warfare. The devastating impact of aerial bombing during World War I underscored the need for advancements in both offensive and defensive military technologies. As nations grappled with the consequences, the race to develop more powerful and accurate weapons intensified. The development of more powerful aircraft and the invention of the Norden bomb sight in the 1930s increased the accuracy and lethality of aerial bombing. This technological advancement allowed for more precise targeting, further amplifying the destructive potential of aerial warfare. World War II witnessed the horrors of strategic bombing campaigns, with cities like London, Dresden, and Tokyo subjected to relentless air raids. These campaigns aimed to cripple the enemy's industrial and military capabilities, but they also inflicted immense suffering on civilian populations. The relentless air raids on cities such as London, Dresden, and Tokyo left a lasting impact on the world. The scale of destruction and loss of life was unprecedented, highlighting the brutal reality of modern warfare. The use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 ushered in a new era of warfare, one defined by the specter of nuclear annihilation. The sheer destructive power of these bombs was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The world had entered the atomic age, forever changed by the awesome and terrifying power of the atom. The threat of nuclear warfare loomed large, shaping international relations and military strategies for decades to come. The atomic age brought with it a new understanding of the potential for human destruction. The consequences of nuclear warfare were profound, prompting nations to reconsider the ethics and implications of their military actions. The world would never be the same, forever haunted by the shadow of the bomb.